Alright guys, welcome back to another pull count video for Zenless Zone 0. As we just got into the second phase of the 2.1 version update this week, I'll be showing you guys how you can obtain up to 8,000 completely free-to-play polychromes for the rest of the 2.1 version update. We have a lot of new things to count, like new events, new resets, content, and a lot more. So let's do a full breakdown in this video to see exactly how many pulls are left for the rest of the 2.1 patch. And if you guys do enjoy the pull count videos, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and also put those notifications on to be updated right away with Zenless news 24/7 right here on the channel. But alright, let's get right into it, the new 2.1 second phase pull count. Starting off with the basic stuff, we have the dailies. So the daily count for this update is actually going to be higher than usual, as instead of this phase being our usual 3-week cycle, will be extended by 1 week, which gives us a 4-week second phase. With that said, if you manage to complete all your dailies every single day, you can obtain up to 1,680 polychromes by simply logging in, doing your dailies for the next 4 weeks. And of course, if you got the Internet membership, you can obtain an extra 90 polychromes a day, which definitely does add up. But for this video, let's only count the free-to-play stuff right now, and by the end, I'll do a separate pull count that includes the paid stuff like the BATTLEPASS and the membership. Alright, so dailies give us 1,680 asteroids. Now let's talk about what else we have. We have the weekly errands. Doing the weekly errands for the next 4 weeks will add an extra 240 polychromes, so not too bad. Alright, now moving on to the limited event. So the limited event pull count is actually looking quite good for this update, and we still have a few more on the way. We did get most of the events of this update in the first phase, but at least we still have a few left on the way, and the limited event is also another good way to obtain a decent amount of pulls. Now for the remaining time in this update, we have about 3 events left. We have the Ghost Ship Adventure event where you can obtain 300 polychromes. We also have the Summer Puzzle event, another 350, and lastly, the JoJo Space Mastery event, where you can obtain another 500 polychromes. So definitely not too bad. So if we count the limited events for the second phase, you can obtain 1,150 polychromes, and keep in mind that is not even including the current ongoing events that have been going on since the first phase, which, as previously mentioned, we already received most of the big events in the first phase as well, and most of these will last until the very end of the update, so make sure to complete them. Alright, now moving on to some resets happening inside the game. So we have a few resets that just happened this week, and we also have a bunch of more resets on the way for the following weeks, so let's go over it. Alright, since we just entered a new month not long ago, here's a friendly reminder to clear the shop, as 5 limited pulls and 5 standard pulls will be available to claim. And one thing to also keep in mind is that the shop will reset once more within the 2.1 update, as when we enter September, we will still be in 2.1, and you'll also be able to furthermore obtain another 5 limited and 5 standard pulls for free by the end of the update simply with the shop. The good news from us also getting a longer patch than usual is the fact that both the Shield Defense and Deadly Assault will be resetting not once but actually twice during the remaining time in this update, which means fully completing the Shield Defense twice, you can obtain another 1,440 polychromes, and if we add the Deadly Assault on top of that with the 2 resets into the mix, this will bring us to roughly 2,100 polychromes by simply completing the 2 modes twice, so the Shield Defense twice and the Deadly Assault twice. So definitely pretty good if you're saving up for the future characters. I can also mention the Hollow Zero is also resetting 4 times during this update, so that is another 640 polychromes. And here we have a few other ways that you can obtain some free-to-play pulls during the 2.1 patch. So here is some new missions that will be added, so that is going to be an extra 100 polychromes. Then we also have the 2.2 live stream, as this will happen during the 2.1 update. We can still count it for this video. The live stream codes will give us 300 polychromes as usual. We also have test runs and training, that is another 50. only 50 polychromes, not too much, but we can still count it for this video. And for the last mention, if you do the house scratch cards and you do get lucky enough to get the polychromes, you can get another 100 polychromes from doing these scratch cards. Alright, so I believe we counted all the events, the resets, any content that got added or will be added for the second phase of the 2.1 update. So now let's do a final poll count in this video, counting all the stuff that we just counted and also adding the paid stuff like the Battle Pass and the Internet membership. Starting off, if you are completely free to play, you can obtain 6,280 polychromes and 10 limited pulls, which is the equivalent of 8,000 polychromes on limited banners. Definitely not too bad for second phase. I know we already have most of the stuff, the big stuff that came out for this update in the second phase, most of the big events, the new content, big resets as well. So a lot happened in the first phase, but this is still not too bad for the second phase, especially considering it's also 1 week longer, which also means we have more dailies and more resets happening as well. Also, now to count if you got the Internet membership. So if you got an Internet membership and you claim it every day for the entire update, you can actually make pretty good value of the Internet membership with the patch saving up for the 2.2 banners, as you'll get an extra 2,520 polychromes from the 4-week phase from claiming the Internet membership every single day. But yeah guys, this concludes my 2.1 second phase pull count video. Let me know down below, what do you guys plan on using these pulls on? Pulling on the current banners like Alice and Inagi that we just got recently. These banners came out this week. Or are you saving up for future characters, maybe the 2.2 banners, as we just got the drip marketing recently for both Seed and Orpheus. They definitely look like amazing characters, or maybe even further, which is going to be the 2.3 update, we are expecting the Idols faction to finally appear. I know I've been covering the Idols faction for quite a while on the channel, so I'm definitely excited for that and looking forward to them to finally release very soon. So that is something to keep in mind when pulling on these next few banners. Let me know down below your plans, and also one thing I want to discuss is the pull count. Do you guys think the pull count has been enough these recent patches? I know it has really improved since we got into the 2.0 update. For a while, the pull counts were looking quite rough, especially around the 1.6 and 1.7 update. I remember covering the pull count on these patches and it was looking quite rough. But since the 2.0 and 2.1 update, we've had 100 pull patches back to back. So yeah, hopefully that does keep going. But yeah guys, this pretty much concludes all the info for today's video. Stay tuned for more news and updates, as I believe we should be getting kit details for the upcoming characters very soon. So stay tuned for that. If you guys did enjoy the pull count video, like the video, subscribe, put those notifications on. As always, thank you guys for watching and see you all in the next one.